ecosystem is so, entangled with each other. If we disturb one part of the ecosystem, we all suffer. If your neighborhood is full of dirt, can you organize a cleaning up gang? Take some brooms and start. Then the leaders will say, oh my God, I was in Pune in November and saw this garbage being burnt.
Dr. Rajaram, it was really nice meeting you face to face in Pune a few months back. And it's a privilege to have you on Creative Bharat today. So, I want to understand you've had a very wide experience of 4 decades. You've been into environmental engineering, you've been into mining, waste management, water system. So, what motivated you to choose this path?
When I was growing up in Secunderabad, my father had just returned from 6 months in Russia for some training he had gone through the Indian government. And he came back and just as I was thinking of college, he said, when I went on this trip, there were 4 young people in their late 20s, early 30s, were mining engineers in different parts of India, doing extremely well in their careers. And I'm really impressed. So I think you should go for mining. I said, I had no clue what it was. And all I told him was, I like math, I don't like biology. So he says, mining engineering is the thing, so just go for it. So when I applied to engineering, I said, I want mining. People are surprised, usually people don't select mining. They want electronics or this or that. So I said, no, I want mining. They said, gladly we'll give it to you. So I took mining engineering. Then when I graduated, by the time I graduated, the prospects for mining were reducing in India. And there was a requirement that 2 years I have to do training in a mine before I can take an exam to become an official in the mines. So I went to Kolar Gold Fields and I was working at my gold mine 5,000 to 8,000 feet below ground. And, I was telling my dad about all the things I do, climbing all these steps to go from this level to that level. So I said, why are you doing it? You are a gold medalist at the university and you shouldn't be doing that. Why didn't you apply abroad for studies? So I said, at this mine that I'm getting in my training, there are a lot of problems with rock bursts. Rock instantaneously bursts and damages equipment, kills people. So I want to do some research on rock bursts. So I said, apply. So when I applied, I got a scholarship in South Dakota School of Mines in Rapid City. And my cousin was in the US, said, come on over. I'm the only one in the family here. So I came to the US to do my master's and Ph.D. Then in 73, I tried to go back and work in India. They said, you're overqualified at this time. We don't need any PhDs. So I said, I came back to the US and started my career. But I always wanted to do something for India. So I got into different fields and helped India later in my career. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Looking back at your career in India and later on, obviously in US, what were the defining moments that shaped you professionally, especially also, with philosophy as well? What was it?
I studied the Bhagavad Gita when I was in my pre-university, the first 2 chapters of the Gita. And I just studied very hard for my pre-university to get very high marks to get into engineering. And I was underage for engineering. So, but I studied so hard and I said, I should have gotten 85 to 90% in math, physics, and chemistry. And I got 65 or 66, something like that. I said, this is not fair. What is happening? Oh God, I put in my effort, you're not helping me. So my elder brother, who's 7 years older than me, said, Raj, you don't understand the Gita. It says, do your work, but don't expect a particular result at a particular time. So I said, oh, okay. Then I joined BSc, did 2 years of BSc, and then got active in the National Cadet Corps. And then when I applied when I was 16, when I was eligible for engineering, they said, "Here is your engineering, seat. Come and take it." So I
Wow.
said, it was always there. I just got too impatient, got upset. Since then, my philosophy in life has become just do your best every day and God takes care of the rest. When the
Yeah.
result will come, what you want, that is not in your hands. Just working hard is in your hands. So that has become my driving philosophy since age 16. And that has really, really helped me throughout my life.
Yeah. So it's like, take life as it comes. So do not make long term goals, but you can make short term goals, which are,
Yeah,
something that you can see, and just keep walking the path and let the path take you, right? Where
yeah.
it needs
And if
to.
the short-term goal is not met right away, don't get disappointed.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it. You will get what you deserve. That's the law of karma. So when you get it, when you deserve it, it is not up to you. And
Very
apart from your work, there are so many other factors that determine the actual result of your activity. So
true.
just have that faith in God, but never give up working hard and working towards your goal.
Right. Tell me, growing up in India and studying in India, um, how it has helped you solve global environmental challenges.
I grew up in a joint family of about 17 kids with my grandparents, my parents, aunts, uncles. So, learned at a very young age, at the age of 5 or 6, that sharing with everyone is important. You cannot say, I need this much space, I need this. I forget your wants all the time.
Mhm.
Your needs are very little. We were so happy, the 17 of us, we could have our own cricket team, and we just enjoyed life, never asking for anything except you know getting the meals on time that parents and grandparents took care of, studying well, doing well in school, playing well. That is it. And so that taught me, if you want a good life, don't
Mhm.
keep on wanting more and more. Keep it
Yeah.
simple and live a simple life. That my parents, my grandparents were the example when I was growing up. And that has helped me when I was a graduate student with $300 a month. I was very happy. When I was my own company owner with much, much more than that, I was equally happy, not more happy or less happy. So that taught me that growing up in a joint family and how to use water very carefully, how
Mhm.
to not waste anything, all these values and values of dharma, values of compassion, caring for others, all these were taught. And my grandmother, when I was 7, said, Manava Seva is Madhava Seva.
Wow.
Service to humanity, service to God. My parents taught me that. And
Mhm.
so, right from the beginning of my career, it was how can I help others? How can I
Mhm.
save some money to help others instead of buying more and more and more? Which today's kids, I advise them money is not the source of happiness. Source of
Yeah.
happiness is your work and your self worth, your self dignity. If you have confidence, compassion, and cheerful, anything in life is possible, and you will be the happiest person in the world. All
True.
those I learned, those values in India, which the Eastern values combined with the Western values of hard work and going for whatever your full potential, that I learned here in the US. And so both of them have really shaped me.
Very nice. Very well said. And very true, actually. I mean, we culturally in India, we see that in, generations, that there is, there's this word called parvarish.
Hmm.
आपकी परवरिश कैसे हुई है,
Samskar, parvarish, all these things are extremely important. That's why when my daughter was growing up,
Mhm.
I made sure she got those values.
Correct.
And I'm so proud that when she started her legal career in the US, she said,
Uh-huh.
first thing, I want to help the people who cannot afford legal services, Dad.
Wow.
So the first few years of her career, she just devoted to helping, you know, abused women, people in the community who didn't have access to illegal care. She just spent time, even when she started her money-making career in law, she said, I will devote 2 hours, 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours of my time every week for helping people who cannot afford my services. And that, she says, that keeps me the most happy throughout my career. So I passed on those values. And those values, if you pass on to the younger generation, these things will survive for generations and generations. That's sustainability for you.
Yeah, very nice. Now, tell me, you've worked extensively in both US and India. And what difference do you see in how environmental challenges are being looked at from both the regions? You know, how India reacts to environmental challenges and how US has reacted or taken action in such challenges.
In India, for me, the Chipko movement of Uttarakhand really stands out. Because there the woman said, we will not lose our forests just so that some rich people can make more money cutting these forests. They just hug the trees and will not leave till the government change their policy.
Yeah.
So that spirit of getting involved in your community, saving the environment is somehow lacking in India these days. In the US, that is what made our environment so clean. There was a woman in the US government who studied the environment and said, hey, all these insects or the birds are not coming anymore in this part of the country. What is going on? Then she looked at the insecticides, DDT and others, which were killing those birds. And she started a mass movement in the country, starting in her region and then the country. And that was how the Environmental Protection Agency was formed in 1972 in the US.
Okay.
And that I've worked in environment in India for many years, starting a company there. And I've seen India emulate those laws quite a bit. Parliament passes those laws within 1 or 2 years of having, working in the US, those laws. But I saw that they don't enforce it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the big difference. Here, if enforcement doesn't happen by the government, people stand up. For example, in my neighborhood, a developer came, a beautiful park where children were playing soccer every, weekend and enjoying their, life and building up their muscles and all that. This developer wanted to buy that land and put a high-rise condo there. Mm-hmm. This is unacceptable. So I got involved. Few people, activists in my community got involved. We made a YouTube video. We got on social media. And we convinced the local government that they should not allow this to happen. And we convinced the park district in our area to buy that piece of land. So if you increase our taxes to buy that piece of land, that's fine with us, because we want that land for our children, not for some developer to make money. And that, I was so happy. Within 4 months, there was a vote, and 65% of the community said, we want the government to spend the money to buy the land and not give it to the developer. And that happened, and that is a beautiful place where I go for my daily walks, and children play soccer. So this is the kind of environmental activism that happens in the US, which I've been involved in a couple of projects to save my community from more and more development. And that is what is required. When I was in Pune recently, I saw these high rises. Are they just mushrooming everywhere? Isn't there any control? Should we as citizens stop some of the pollution of the Mula River there? What is our responsibility as citizens? So if we rise up and say this is unacceptable, the government listens. And that is what we have to do more and more, because there are so many powerful interests who are interested only in their self-interest and money. And unless the public stops it, we will not. So that's the main difference between the US and India, that public involvement here is significant. We go on protests. Right now in the US, protesting all over the country against these terrible government policies. And policies are changing. I can see it right in front of my eyes. So that is what's required. It happens sometimes in India, but it has to happen at a local level and has to happen at a state level, national level.
Yeah. In 1997, you founded Tetra Tech India uh, to transfer US technologies, right? If I'm
Yes,
right?
correct.
That's what the
Yes,
company
yeah.
did. What was the problem that you had identified when you set up this organization? What was the gap that you saw when you were setting this up?
Again, it is God's will that works. I
Mhm.
was just flying to India in 1993 to visit my brother, my parents, and all that. Then sitting next to me was a gentleman on the flight, and I asked him, "What do you do?" He says, "I own a big contracting firm in Delhi called Technofab Engineering. We do a lot of work for National Thermal Power Corporation with their coal handling, oil handling systems." And he said, "But I have one request for you." I said, "What is that?" He says, "Water pollution is not properly managed in these power plants. And the government has now decided to do it. They've got a big loan from the World Bank. They want to do it. But we don't have the expertise. Our company doesn't have it. And in our conversation, I see your company in Chicago is doing those things. Can you form a joint venture company to introduce these technologies and win some contracts with NTPC? We know the client very well, but we don't have the technology." I said, "This is your lucky day and my lucky day." So he was serious. We got together on my week I was in Delhi, and we said, "No, we will go forward this way." So I asked him to come to the US. Then we'll sign a joint venture because I wanted the company president and also involved in that. So he came in 94, we signed an agreement, and then immediately hired a young wastewater engineer and said, "Raj, he's your Shishya. You
Mhm.
mentor him, and he will do all the local things to bid jobs and all that, and let us win some jobs with NTPC." So that was my single focus. I made, 2 or 3 trips at that time, mainly for water pollution technologies, which, companies were lacking there. So came there, and again, God's will, the first project we bid in eastern UP called Rihan Power Plant for about 5.5 crore project. And we were successful bidders. We were the lowest bidders. And I said, "My God, with a little bit of effort and my mentee, Satish Malik, helping, we won this job." And that gave confidence to the local company, Technofab, and to us that, India market, we can win and we can proceed. So that happened. Then after doing 3 big projects for NTPC through Technofab, the joint venture, we named it Tetra Tech India Limited. And then, but they were interested only in working for NTPC. I said, "No, no, no, there's so many environmental problems in India that we have to do it." So I just bought them out and focused on hazardous waste management, which was what I was doing in India. A lot of hazardous waste sites were polluting the water, soil, air. I was cleaning up. So I said, I see so many problems in India with hazardous waste being, thrown away, solid waste being thrown away improperly, ruining the land, ruining the air, ruining the water. So we started, focusing on that and won some very big contracts in Delhi and all over the India on reducing environmental pollution in industry. We work with about 10 major sectors, industry sectors in India, 70 companies, changing their whole thinking, the environmental management systems, how they can reduce water pollution, reduce the use of water, reduce the solid waste that they generate, and reduce the energy usage. So that was a 3-year plus project where we got to hire about 20, 22 young engineers. And that's a best part of my life when I trained all those young engineers to think world class, not chalta hai attitude. So with that, these young kids became such top-notch people. They would, have the confidence to go and talk to CEOs of companies that this is what you're doing wrong. You have to do this right. So
Yeah.
that is what happened over a period of 8 years. I did that. Then there was a lot of politics going on in our company here. So I told my company, I don't want to handle India operations. I'm going to quit, get more into more non-profit work.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's talk about wastewater treatment.
Mhm.
Okay. And recycling. So, when we talk about wastewater treatment and recycling, they have been the center of your work mostly, right? Why do you believe water management is one of the most critical issues of our time? And
Water is life.
you also
Okay.
spoke about your
Yeah.
childhood where
Yeah.
you were taught to save a lot of water.
Yeah.
So it's culturally been embedded into you. And,
Yeah.
this is a
Absolutely.
mission you have taken up. So,
Yeah.
how, why do you believe that it is
Yeah.
the most crucial issue of our times?
God has given us free air, free water, and land to grow our food. We humans, in our greed, have started polluting our water, polluting our air, polluting our land with improper waste disposal, improper wastewater disposal. So I said, if poor people who live in slums cannot get clean water, how will their kids ever, ever, ever see a future? And one of my friends, who was very active in the US, he had started at that time uh, Blue Yamuna Foundation because he was seeing Yamuna being polluted so much in Delhi that he took a picture of a young 5-year-old kid drinking the Yamuna water and with an extended belly and, looking at this kid, you can say this kid will not live another more than 5 to 7 years. He's going to have all kinds of health problems. So I said, why should this kid pay with his life for the pollution that industry creates, with these municipalities create, throwing their wastewater into this beautiful Yamuna River that we have as a resource for 15, 20 million people living in Delhi area. So we got started on that. And I said, there are very, 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 very simple ways to prevent this. First is prevention, then treatment, then recycling, reuse. So how can you prevent it? In industry, they can segregate the wastewater from other water which is not, really polluted. They can have some chemicals that get into their operation. They can treat that water right there in a small quantity before they release it to the municipal water as municipal water. Municipalities, if they did simple planning, and I got involved in Delhi for a few years, telling them how they can reduce their pollution in all these, dirty drains that go and join the Yamuna. I said, you can make the 17-mile drain that is taking water from all these communities to Yamuna into a beautiful landscape, into creating ponds where they can, places where the water can stop, we can treat it, clean it up before it reaches the Yamuna. And those areas, you can create beautiful parks along that, there's a huge drain in Delhi called Najafgarh drain. We can do that. So I gave them so many proposals. And fortunately, my neighbor in Chicago is one Sam Pitroda, who started the telecom revolution in India. He had excellent connections in Delhi, the
Yeah.
chief secretary, with the whole Delhi government. So I used every connection I could get, but these people just won't listen. They say, no, these are all simple things you're saying. We want to do mega projects. So what's a mega project? If you don't start with simple things to prevent things, what are you spending crores of rupees to fix a problem which you have created yourself? So I tried my best. So slowly, all that attitude is developing now, I see, with industry, with municipalities. So that's why I wrote a book called Solid and Liquid Waste Management.
Yeah.
Now, waste to wealth. How it can be done. It is being done in certain parts of India, but it's not being done all over the country. It is very simple. It needs some political will. There is money to do it, but we need some political will and some public, push to get this done by the local state governments. So that is what is really needed. And without water, we cannot even survive. And the waterborne diseases take so much of our healthcare costs. We can
True.
prevent that. And clean water is a right. It's written in the Constitution of India, and we are not doing it. So I have worked in Varanasi, in Delhi, and several other municipalities, advising them. I've given talks. I've done all kinds of stuff in India to say, it is our right. It is our duty to take care of this. I tell industry, if you pollute, you are a
Yeah.
criminal. Don't think, you just did some small thing. You're a criminal because you are affecting people's lives. So don't do this. It's a simple technologies to do it. And that is what, we were lucky to get this big US contract called New Clean Technologies Initiative. And we introduced a lot of clean technologies to industry. And then municipalities have to do it now. Unless people push, municipalities don't do. So that's where the people power comes, where we push the municipalities to install wastewater treatment plants and get the water cleaned up so that everybody can enjoy, going to a park, not smell anything bad, but enjoy life. And they want to drink water or bathe in that lake or, river, they should be able to do it. Not think what skin disease I'm going to get tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah, very true. In Indiana, you have created a 38 million gallon per day wastewater recycle project. Can you throw some insights on that and what has been the long term impact?
Uh, One simple fact is that human waste in our wastewater has a lot of nutrients because we eat food, which has nutrients, carbon, nitrogen, and all that. That goes into our waste. And so wastewater has pathogens which are harmful. But once you treat those pathogens, the nutrients still left in it, nitrates, phosphates, are extremely good for agriculture. The land loves the nutrients. And that will, if you use treated wastewater for agriculture, you can reduce the use of fertilizer. And if you use less fertilizer, you don't need that much insecticide. So every way we save money. And so it is a question of getting the treated wastewater to the people who need the water in the agricultural sector. And agricultural sector in India still takes about 70 to 75% of our water. So if every municipality treated their wastewater and piped it to agricultural areas close by, it's a win-win situation. The agricultural people produce more yield. So that's what we did in Indiana. There was a lot of agricultural land close by, and we said, treat it this way. And if you don't remove those nitrates, what happens if you put that in our water? It grows algae and clogs up the river, clogs up water bodies, lakes. So this way, you keep the lakes clean, rivers clean, and also use those nutrients to, grow food, increase the yield of our agricultural land. So that is what we proved in Indiana. And it is slowly happening again. Even in the US, there are some communities that resisted. So we wanted a $100 million investment to get that whole piping system done. So it is getting slowly done, but we gave that recommendation in 2010, 11. It might happen another 20 years, 30 years. It might finally get done, but it is happening. But it has been done in certain other parts of the US. Slowly, there's this gentleman in Pune, Sanjay Deshpande, who's trying to clean it up in agricultural areas. And that, cleaned up water used for agriculture increases the farmers' profits, yield of the land, everything. So this is something, every technology is available. It is the public will to get it done. And if the public pushes, your taxpayer dollars are used in the proper way so that, every sector in the economy, agriculture sector, just municipalities, communities, everybody can help each other live healthy lives. And that is what, when you call Ramaraj, it is nothing but that. Everybody working together, helping each other so that we all thrive, we all succeed well. And that is what we can do. Technologies are available right now. It's just the willingness to get it done. Okay.
Very well said. And also, these are not just the problem of US and America. I think worldwide people are doing it. They're, creating more pollution this way. Especially the water health is getting deteriorated because of a lot of waste being put into water. And at the same time, people are aware that, the recycled water is very good, fertile, water for farming. I mean, people are aware, but still there is still some resistance. There is still, some. I don't know what's stopping, but I do remember some time back, Sadhguru had gone on a Save Soil campaign. He traveled all over the world because this was a world problem. That the soil
Absolutely.
is not that good quality, which is giving us good food now. So it's become a issue for the whole world. And
Absolutely.
doing that. And like, I have friends who have farms here in Madhya Pradesh, and they say we use so much of chas, coming out of our farm, and we actually put the chas back into the soil so that the soil health comes back, and whatever we grow, comes out. So there are these new generation of farmers, who are coming out, people who are getting into farming, and they are using some new trends, or, trying to get
Absolutely.
soil health back so that we have better crops and more easier way of farming.
I just want to use this segue to mention that the best way to do all this is to educate our school children. They are our future.
Right.
Because once you set up in college and later, your mindset, you're so busy with so many other things, I have to do this, you don't pay attention. But if we get our attention of our school children, this is what is happening in Bangalore, a program called Rain Reach. And actually, today, tomorrow, we are going to send out a proposal from Pune to the US, to the Lions International, which is about 5 minutes from my house, to get $100,000 to reach about 10 to 12 schools in Pune area, to teach these kids about rainwater harvesting, to water conservation, and how their wastewater can be treated right in the school area and used for all the horticultural purposes, keeping the school area green. We are going to be doing that, keeping my fingers crossed. In 3 months, we should know about this. If we get that $100,000, we'll start with 10 to 12 Pune schools. If that, in Bangalore, we already in 14 schools. We've proven to these kids, and these kids, take charge of the program. Once we install it for them, we train them, we mentor them. So this is what is needed. It's a national campaign. We call it Andolan, do it all over India. Get the religious people involved, get school kids involved. Say, this is the only way of our future, is to conserve water, to harvest the rain properly, not go deeper bore wells, not tankers. Tankers are the worst thing that mankind has ever come up with, because they pollute the air when these diesel trucks bring the water to the to the high-rise buildings. And I have seen, in 2004, I was in India, in Chennai. I saw this 10% of the water, this tanker is leaking while on its way to where it's going to deliver it. So water wastage, air pollution, And this tanker is the worst way of getting water to anybody. We can do it through rainwater, simple rainwater harvesting systems can be installed in every apartment complex, in every high rise, everything it can be done. And it is being done in different parts of the country. It has to become a national model. And we can do it, international model, not just national, international model of using rainwater properly, wastewater recycling, reuse, water conservation. If we do all that, and similar thing applies to solid waste and hazardous waste, all these wastes that we create, which are polluting our environment, we have the technologies to reduce, recycle, and reuse. And now the new word is called a circular economy, where you remanufacture things. We don't throw out an old car. We just,
Yeah.
get all the materials in the car, reuse every part of it to build a new car. And the
Yeah.
car is over. So everything is possible. It is just the human will. And if you put your heart to it, anything is possible. Nothing is impossible in the world. But if your heart is not there, every obstacle in the world you can think of, your mind thinks of. Don't do this
Right.
because of this. Because there's no because. You want to do it, you can do it. I can do spirit is what I want to instill in every school and college kid around the world. That's my goal.
Right. And also, I teach entrepreneurship to two very big colleges in Pune.
Yeah.
And, in entrepreneurship, my focus is more to get them to start thinking start identifying problem in the society and then
Yeah.
build a solution
Yeah.
that can become an entrepreneur venture for you.
Yeah.
And it basically makes a complex process simple.
Yeah.
And that is business, right? So there I always have at least 2 hours dedicated to thinking about sustainable business ideas, because today's generation and the next generation has to be in the circular the word,
Economy. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Economy we have to create. Yeah.
Yeah, circular economy, that you have to keep reusing what is already there.
Yeah.
There are no places to throw it, it has to be reused, it has to. So like in India, we are seeing a lot of sustainable roads being built. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of college kids are innovating on getting all the plastic or the rubber together to make bricks that can be made for the roads, which can
Absolutely.
water in. So when the rainwater comes, the water will
Mm-hmm.
go on into the
Yeah.
earth.
Yeah.
So the next generation is gearing up and they are now aware, that sustainability is going to be a very big thing. And if their businesses can be around that,
Yeah.
whatever business idea they think, they should think of some way of getting environment back, you know the good environment back, the good air back, the good water back
Yeah.
is the key thing. So it's really
I
nice.
have, yeah, I have given a course, taught students 1 hour class on entrepreneurship opportunities in solid waste
Uh,
and wastewater management. There are
Okay.
so many opportunities
Yeah.
for entrepreneurs to enter this field because it is an ever growing field, there's ever in demand for proper solid waste management in our cities, in our
Right.
communities, wastewater management, so that you can start businesses. And
Very.
there are some businesses that have been started in North India that I know. They now municipalities are completely out of the solid waste uh, business or kachra business that we call in India. They have
Yeah.
given it all to private subcontractors who track exactly every home, and they have wet waste, dry waste collection. All the dry waste is sold in the recycle market. The wet waste is composted to produce agricultural compost or to produce biogas. All these things are in my book called Solid and Liquid Waste Management, Waste to Wealth. I say every bit of waste is money sitting there to be tapped into. And if in your class of entrepreneurs, if they can take that up, I can guide them step by step how to do it.
Definitely. That will be such a good thing. And I am going to promote your book to the students. because I think many of them also come from agriculture background,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
Pune
Yeah.
is the Oxford of the East. That's what
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
call
Yeah. Mhm.
in India. So students from all over India come here to study, and many of
Yeah.
them also come from really rural backgrounds to
Mhm.
get educated here, and they have seen real life out there. They have seen
Yeah. Yeah.
that agriculture is no more a big option for them. They have to move out. So why not fix what is not working out,
Right,
right?
in agriculture, there are so many business opportunities.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So again, when you put your creative brain and
Hmm.
say, what are the problems society is facing? Distribution chain has to be fixed. That has to be fixed. So
Yeah.
if we do it, everything, opportunities are there.
Right.
And how to tap those opportunities. And I tell people, when you want to start a business, three things are essential.
Mhm.
First, make sure that you have enough contacts, that your marketing is there so you can get work all the time.
Right.
You have to perform it well. Otherwise, there's no repeat clients.
True.
And getting paid on time. If you don't get paid on time, you cannot meet your payroll, you cannot sustain your business. So you need initial capital. I started my company called Midwest Engineers in Chicago, but just took a loan on my
Mhm.
home mortgage I took. I said, this will be enough to pay about 6 months of salary for my employees. After that, I will get revenue, which I will can meet my payroll and take care of myself eventually. So it took me an year to get to the point where I could take a salary, but I could pay my employees, I could pay my suppliers, and I started this construction business, which I didn't know much about, but I learned. I had a partner who was in construction. So learned that. And so it doesn't take tons of capital that many people think, where do I get the money? Hey, mortgage your own house, take a little money, a loan from somebody, and have a plan how you're going to pay it off and how your revenue is going to come to make sure that that your loan is paid off in a year or two. And then you start growing the business. So
Yeah.
if you have these three elements of the business completely thought out in a business plan and talk to some people with some experience, don't be shy to ask questions. People
Yeah.
are always willing to help if
Yes.
you're a young entrepreneur. So this is what India needs. And I'm seeing young entrepreneurs. I'm guiding a young entrepreneur in Bangalore. It's so much pleasure to do that. And he's thinking, his ideas come up and he presents it to me. I said, no, think about this, talk to so and so, so and so, so and so. So that is what experienced people are sitting out there with
Yeah.
business experience. Young people have to go to them. It has to be a transfer of knowledge. And that is
Yeah.
where you learn from each other. And I always tell young people, with your energy and my wisdom and experience, we can solve any problem in the world. So let
Right.
us work together to get it done.
So there is been some revolution that has happened in the last 10 years also in India, and
I've been seeing
again,
that. I've been seeing that.
it
Yeah.
got started 10 years back, and today we are able to see that we are heading to the right direction. For example, like the Atal incubation centers that India
Yeah.
has,
Yeah.
the next generation to incubate on business
Mm-hmm.
ideas. There's this the second oldest college, engineering college in India, called COEP, has a Bhau Institute, which is again an incubation
Yeah.
center. And
Mm-hmm.
we see a lot of younger generation now incubating new business
Yeah.
ideas out there. So
Absolutely.
I think with mentorship coming from people like you is
Always
definitely
available.
going to help the next generation to move forward with greater business ideas, with sustainable ideas, using sustainability around and bringing back the life,
Yeah.
bringing back the nature. And I'm
Our
definitely
values, our values. I'll tell
value.
you the 5 duties the
uh,
Bhagavad Gita says for us are his first duty to the environment because
mhm.
you get everything from the environment water, air, food. Okay. Duty to others who are not as fortunate as you, duty to your parents, duty to teachers and people who have passed on the knowledge to you. our rishis, respect them and give back to them. Finally, duty to you and your family.
Yeah.
What is happening many times is duty to you and your family sticks in everybody's head. All the
Wow.
rest are slowly forgotten.
Yeah.
No. So these 5 duties are ingrained in our scriptures, are taught. We have to revive them. And I'll tell you one example. I'm working with a school called the Himalayan English School in Gansali, which is a small rural mountain area of Uttarakhand.
Yes.
And there,
Yes.
my friend Sudhir Nautiyal got an Atal Innovation Grant of 10
Wow.
lakhs. And his rural school has got such wonderful robotics lab, electronics lab. I was shocked. And I see these kids, I talk to them once in a while. I say, my God, Sudhir, what have you done to these kids who thought that agriculture is their only future? You have told them anything is possible. He's got computers, he's got robotics, everything in that rural school. Because small seed money from Atal Innovation, grant he applied for, he got it. So there are tons and tons of opportunities. You need that drive within you. That's called Atmanirbhar, which
Yes.
our Prime Minister has been pushing there. So
Yes.
have that self-confidence. If you have the self-confidence, you have the compassion to help others. And if you are always cheerful under any circumstance, anything that comes bad in your way shall pass, will not stick with you. So have that confidence and just be cheerful. And my Guruji, in Chennai, Swami Paramarthananda says the 3 C's are essential for everyone. Children, adults, everyone. The 3 C's make your life. Have those 3 C's in you all the time.
Right. You have written extensively on climate change. You've talked about it a lot in forums as well, and also its impact on the society. What do you think are the most misunderstood aspects of climate change today?
Again, people misunderstand weather for climate. Weather is what's happening day to day. It changes with what's happening in the atmosphere all the time. Climate is a long term. You measure it over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So over the long term, what is happening? We call global warming. Why? Because over the long term, temperatures have been rising. What does that do? It evaporates more of the water. You get heavy rain or drought, periods of heavy rain or drought. It's hard to manage those kinds of things. So start reducing the factors that cause this extreme weather. And climate change overall, weather becomes extreme, hard to manage. And we all suffer. We all pay a lot of money and when a lot of loss of life, everything happens. So if we are aware of simple things we can take, in my book, Climate Change and Environment, I have examples at the end of each chapter. And this is meant for high school kids. They can start going out in the environment, taking walks and understanding what's happening. How without the pollination the bees create, we won't have, flowers. Flowers, bees, the whole ecosystem is so, entangled with each other. If we disturb one part of the ecosystem, we all suffer. So if we take care of the environment, plant more trees. This is my mantra, which I have taught to kids in Kenya, and they are doing it. First time I taught climate change and environment to this class of the 600 poorest kids in rural Kenya. They said, after the second class, they said, we are starting our own environmental club. And we have made a promise to plant 300 trees in our community. And they did it. By the time I finished my 10 modules, 10 weeks, they had started the tree planting. And they went to their homes, told their parents to plant trees. So this whole tree planting can happen in every community. Water pollution prevention can happen in every community. I was in Pune in November and saw this garbage being burnt. Everywhere, small pile. That creates more smoke, more air pollution. If you take all that to central place and convert all that material into biogas, which you can pipeline it and use it.
Mm.
There is just a system of collection of this kind of waste, which has got a lot of organic material, to convert it into biogas or into compost, which is good for the land.
Yeah.
So all these things are available if we start become conscious of it, aware of it. Without being aware, you can't do anything. So that's why exposing our school and college kids to simple things like, hey, in your community, can you take 2 hours a week to educate a child? Can you take 2 hours a month to go plant a tree? Can you take 2 hours every 3 months to go clean up your river? Or if your neighborhood is full of dirt, can you organize a cleaning up gang? Take some brooms and start. Then the leaders will say, oh my God, this community is taking care of it. We'll lose our jobs. The next election, we won't be around. If the community is doing it themselves, what's my job? So they will get the message and they will start doing their job and using their taxpayer money properly. And there is a wonderful law in India, which people are not using, called Right to Information Act. If we use that, I challenged kids in this high school in Delhi several years ago. I said, use that. If your municipal leader is not cleaning up, you have got pockets of water standing, mosquitoes and all that, go ask them, where is my money being spent? Ask your parents to file a RTI petition. Within 30 days, they have to respond. Why they didn't? What was the problem of not cleaning up the pond, which is creating mosquitoes and creating disease here? Once they are shaken up, they'll say, hey, my God, we better do that. Otherwise, more and more people complain. Our jobs are on the line. True. Okay. And then, so this is the ripple effect. We have all the power in a democracy to do it. But if we don't use it, we lose it. Right?
Yeah.
So this is what I want to instill. And that is what I wrote the book, Climate Change and Environment. I wrote the book Solid Waste Liquid only because of that.
Yeah.
And then after writing those technical books, I said, what have I learned in life? How the joy of giving. So I wrote a book called Golden Giving in 2017.
Wow. Okay.
Documenting all my activities of giving back to the community, from tutoring, mentoring a young poor kid in Chicago, to working with NGOs in India, working with NGOs here in Chicago to alleviate hunger. You won't believe it. There are 800,000 hungry people every year in Chicago, a big city, which from India, you think it's a beautiful big city, third biggest city in the US. 800,000 hungry people. So there's a group that is feeding them. So I've been involved with that for the last, 26 years. No, 30 years now. So these are the kinds of things you can get involved. Never say, what single person, what can I do? A single person, I started off in 1994, tutoring, mentoring a young girl, then a few other people, and then getting involved with this organization that is feeding the hungry. So I go there, volunteer once in a while to pack the food, because big cartons of food come donated by big companies. So we make it into small packets to give it to the neighborhood community where they can come and pick it up. So all these volunteer opportunities are available. Give your time, give your talent. If you're a good in computers, give that talent to somebody who's not as comfortable with computers. Work with a senior who has other knowledge. Share that knowledge. Share your knowledge of how to use the cell phone properly. And they can teach us life lessons with you. So it is sharing with each other, working with each other, helping. So that attitude of, let me see how I can help others. If that is in your head, you help others, they will help you. There's no one-way street in this world. It's all two-way. Once you do it, others will reciprocate. So there it goes. This is the way the world goes around. And this is all written in our scriptures.
That's
Sanatana Dharma.
Yeah.
So this is what it's all about. Let us remind our children about this. And you mobilize as many people as possible in the business community that you know, to put a little bit aside. The CSR is just something to relieve your conscience. Okay. I have a
Mm.
guilty conscience. I made tons of money. I live in a beautiful house, and there are jokries there. So I give a little bit, 2%. And that also people are hesitant to give.
Mm.
You can give 10%. Like Warren Buffett said, 50% wealthy people have to give away to others. Even after giving 50%, they'll have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. They can
Exactly.
relieve it for 2-3 generations. So wealthy people give 50 to 60, 70% of your income to others, like Tata Trust does. Tata is the one group that I love in India. The Tata Foundation, they give tons of money for all kinds of causes because part of that profit is always plowed back into the Tata Trust, the Tata Foundation. So that grows. So like that, everybody can do that. And
Right.
then we will have a wonderful society. We won't have all these inequalities. We won't need to have these gated communities because
That's true.
I live in a place where people wanted to put some, gates and stop people coming into my community. I said, no, I don't want gates. Let them come. What's going to be? Big crime. We know how to monitor things and do it. So got the electronic things. So we don't need, stopping people. Let us not have this inequality. I was in South Africa a few years ago where I saw these huge 10-foot high walls in some of these places. I said, what is this? One of the black cab drivers who was taking me there to that place said, sir, you think these walls will stop us? If we don't have any food to eat, we will break down those walls and go grab the money from those people who live behind those walls. So that
Mm.
is the sentiment we don't want to create. We want to make sure everybody has something to eat, water to
Yeah.
drink, clean water to drink, and the air is clean and
Clean.
some education, because this waste, mind wasted, like Abdul Kalamji said, these are
Mm.
ignited minds. You ignite them, they take off. But if you
Yeah.
let them rot, you will have problems in society.
Very true.
So that has been my path in life for the last about 20 years, and I've been so happy with that because God has given me enough. If I don't share my knowledge, my wealth, and my talents, whatever little I have, with others, life is useless. Like
Wow.
Bhagwan Krishna says.
I'm
Krishna
so
says,
happy
you,
to be with you.
he says clearly, if you take from society and don't give back, you are a thief. He calls, Bhagwan Krishna says, you are a thief. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be named a thief when you have so much money. You are
Right.
benefiting from society. People say, what do I? Hey, I got my free education in India. I got scholarships. I did well in school, but I got scholarships. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
paid for me. Society paid for everything. I got a good schooling. I got, clean environment to live, everything. I grew up. I owe everything to my society I grew up in. I live in. So I have to give back. If that attitude is inculcated in our young people and most people, it will be Ram Raj again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so happy to be talking to you today because, we all know a lot of things, but sometimes we don't want to talk about it. And I think communication is the best key. Start educating people with the knowledge is the best thing. A lot of friends of mine from the corporate world who have been in good positions and now reached a point where they feel that I want to contribute something to the world. And I always tell them that, education is the best thing that you can give with your experiences. Start teaching the next generation. And I think that's what you are also resonating to. And it's really nice to hear all these things from you. I would also like to know, from an engineer's perspective, where do policymakers often fall short while addressing issues like these, like environmental issues, where there's so what have the policy, so people, okay, we can make people aware, we can educate them and all, but ultimately the policy makers are the ones, right, who can if they also join hands, then the impact is much better. So where do they
Absolutely.
fall, you know
Again, it is public interest over self-interest.
mm,
If that is kept in mind by every policymaker, He will say, is this helping as many people as possible? Not how it is helping me or my friends make more money. Because
Right.
this money, I'm telling you, I've been to Delhi where I've seen some people with 17 cars in their, piece of property they have. All the foreign models you can think of. I said, what the hell are you doing with this? Oh, this is my collection. I said, did you see outside your gate how much poverty there is? Sell these cars and start helping people. That is what is needed. And those people with that much wealth have influence on policymakers. And they try to influence to help more of that they can make more money in their business. If that is cut by public uprising, public protest saying, we want this, then the policymakers will wake up. And they will say, hey, let's listen to this engineer. Let's listen to this doctor who is giving a good public policy idea. Instead of saying, it won't work. It's right out of the back because it's not practical. People won't do it because it's not making money. Hey, everybody has to make a reasonable profit. What is reasonable is very important, that word defining it. Is it 10% reasonable or 100% or 200%? So let's have businesses thrive by allowing them to make a reasonable profit. They have to plow back to their employees, to their community. If they don't do that, we will tax them. And we will take that money properly, distribute it to communities in need. So that has to happen. Policymakers has to open up their eyes, read the Gita once in a while, and understand that they have this responsibility. People have elected them to this. They've given them that position of power. Use it properly. Instead of enriching me and my family, let me do that.
Yeah.
So we will do more and more of that. And that is where my last book comes in, called 9 Steps to Tranquility. Because my daughter told me, Dad, you are advising me right from my teenage years how to, follow karma yoga, do your duty, not get excited about it, result and all that. But and so many other ways you've taught me how to stay calm and through school, college, and all that. Why don't you share that wisdom in a book? I see so many books about self-help, but they are not practical and all that. So she challenged me 3-4 years ago. So I wrote this book, how I have remained tranquil through all these ups and downs. I had periods of no money, periods of lots of money. Nothing, it didn't ruffle me. I said, oh, fine. This too shall pass, and I'll do what I have to do.
Yeah.
So one, Guruji, Swami Dayananda Saraswati says, face the facts and do what has to be done. Don't project things which are not there. Just face facts and do your duty. Then everything can be solved. So that is what needs to be done. So that's why in my book, I just put these 9 steps, simple things we can do with self-discipline, starting with self-discipline, to caring for others, to looking at the big picture instead of getting bogged down in one small problem issue that you make a mountain out of a molehill. It becomes, but when you stand back and say, hey, my problem is nothing compared to problems of so many other people I see around me. I'm so lucky. I develop an attitude of gratefulness. Instead of saying, I don't have this, seeing somebody who has more, I don't have. That is wrong thinking. So how the right thinking can be done? How we can have daily quiet time meditation, or call it quiet time meditation. Reflect on what is happening in your life daily. What could I have done better? How could I have reacted something better? How could I have not hurt some person by some crazy words I said? All these things, if we all have that time to reflect and improve ourselves, it'll be a beautiful place. And then I give 6 people who I admire, starting from Gandhiji to Nelson Mandela to Mother Teresa to Abdul Kalam and a few others. This is what people did. They solved world problems while remaining tranquil. They had that faith in themselves, faith in God, and did their best. They always had public interest over self-interest.
Mm.
So put that as part and parcel of your life, and then you remain tranquil. Every day you sleep well, you stay healthy, and be a contributor always to society. So that's why those 9 steps I wrote just last fall I finished it, and I'm writing a Substack articles every week to for people who are not able to buy the book to read portions of the book and all that. So I've been writing
Very,
it for the last few months.
very
So
nice.
that's
And this
yeah,
is available on Amazon in India, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just put
So I'm going
Vasudevan Rajaram and
Tell me from leadership, entrepreneurship, and legacy standpoint, as a founder and president of Midwest Engineers, what leadership lessons did entrepreneurship teach you that engineering alone could not?
it taught me that to work as a team,
Mm,
to respect my team, give them credit. Don't take credit always. Without your
mm,
team, you're nothing. So when I used to work in India with Tetra Tech, people say, sir, you started the company. We are so grateful to you. I said, no, you don't have to be grateful. We are all equal. I'm not your boss. You're not some lowly engineer. We are all equal. We all work together. We can make this company successful. If you don't work, whatever I do doesn't help. So you do your part. So if we can get that, it's called servant leadership sometimes, but get to the level. Don't say, I sit here, you sit here. No, we are all human beings to start with. That's the common denominator. So let us help each other. You might have some good ideas. My young engineers would call me from India at night, my morning time, and say, sir, I have an idea for this project. Can we do it this way? Hey, sounds good. Modify it this way, do it. So I gave them that freedom to express their thoughts. So this is what you have to do. You have to treat everyone with respect, irrespective of age, experience, anything. You let them make mistakes. You allow yourself to make mistakes. These are all experiences. Mistake is nothing. It's an experience to learn from. So if you do those kinds of things, you help others, you help yourself. And this is the only legacy I want to leave, that, we have to work with each other. And if I can give parting advice, my closing thoughts on this, it is, take your time to help others. Share
yeah.
knowledge. Gyan Dan is the easiest and, should be done. Because you have some knowledge that others don't have, share it. Then help somebody who's hungry. Give something to them so that their hunger is alleviated. You can join a volunteer organization. Like I belong to the Lions Club. Through the Lions Club for the last 20 years, I have helped my community in Chicago. I helped community in Kenya. I helped a community in India, improve their lives. And again, with any organization you volunteer for, put your heart and soul into it. It's not just, oh, I'm doing it for free. No, you're doing it because it is helping you. Giving helps the giver more than the receiver. The sense of joy and happiness that you are able to help somebody, that feeling is more important than, oh, I gave it, he didn't even say thank you. Don't expect anything from anyone. Accept people as they are.
Mm.
And if you do that, your life is bed of roses. Your life is heaven on earth. So that is the message I want to give to people. Don't think money buys you anything other than a few objects. So
That's
in my book, I say, first, love others. Then, use objects. Don't love any object. Just use it. They're utilitarian. And then just use money to help others, help yourself, help others. So it is, don't start with love money, love others. Use money and use objects as and when needed. So when you reverse the system, you are ruining yourself, you're not helping anyone, and in the end, you will die being unhappy. Because that money, you don't have health, money can buy you any health. So take care of your health. Every day,
Yeah.
the discipline to get up, do exercise, eat right, then do your work well with a clear conscience. That means following dharma. If you do that, your life will be wonderful, peaceful, and you will get up every morning feeling it is a new day today. I can make an impact. Let me get up and do something good.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's my legacy to all. The 3 C's I've already told you. Just
Yes.
have those as your guideposts in life. Okay.
Thank you so much for your time and this insightful conversation with me. You gave me more than the scheduled time, so it was really nice to keep getting into the discussion with you. And I think there's so much more to talk with you, but I'm going to save that for the next time when you're in Pune. I'm going to bother you with more questions from me. Thank you for all the insights that you have shared, and they were very transparent and they came from real experience of your 40 odd years, like 4 decades you have been in this industry, and that too focusing on environment. So it comes directly from an experience that you have had on the ground, and that too from two different cultures, India and US. It was really, really insightful. Thank you so much for your time, sir. And
Oh, Manjula, thank you, because sharing it with others, and if one person who listens to this improves their life, becomes a better person, I'd be the happiest person in the world. Okay.
yes, thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Manjula. Okay.